Hi, I'm Candace, and this is Pilates breathing for strength, not stress. So we're going to integrate a lot of yoga concepts into our practice today. First, I want you to think about sitting up tall. What does that mean, sitting up tall? So let the sits bones and the leg bones sink down, but then begin to brace the lower abs, the middle abs, and I'm going to call them the upper abs. So lower abs right by the pelvic ball, almost by the crease, by the thighs. And then the middle abs right around, the navel and around there. Then the upper abs are around the lowest ribs. So those are, I'm going to call them 3 sections of abs. Squeeze the lower abs, the middle abs, and the upper abs, and then the spine grows up naturally from there. Take a second to align the head. So drop the chin a little bit down, and then a little bit up. So there's the range of motion of the head, a little bit down, a little bit up. Now, normally we don't move our head all the way down or all the way up unless we're looking at something. So really our range of motion is really quite small that we typically do. Then level your head and draw your head slightly backward. Take the back of your head and back up like you're trying to make a double chin, kind of like that. And then just using your mind, do all of that again. So this time, don't really watch me, maybe close your eyes. Lower abs squeeze in and up. Middle abs squeeze in and up. Upper abs squeeze in and up. Take the head, nod the chin just a little bit down, just a millimeter, and then slide the back of the head slightly back. Now, with your eyes closed, I just want you to take a deep breath in. And then as you exhale, pull the shoulders onto the back and soften the shoulder blades down the back. Do that again, a deep breath in. Exhale, slide the shoulders slightly back and down. Again, so as you're inhaling, lengthen the spine in and up. As you're exhaling, soften the shoulders back and down. Practice that. Now, the more you're contracting your abdominals, remember I said lower abs, middle abs, upper abs, and that creates length in the spine. So if I said practice that, and every time you exhale, you squeeze the lower, you squeeze the middle, you squeeze the upper, then your abs will get tighter and tighter and tighter, right? If you're really doing it each and every time without really releasing them. One of the things we know about the way muscles and the nervous system interact is that the more attention, central nervous system attention, you give the autonomic, that's the stuff that goes on, like you're not really paying attention, it has to do with your organs and your heartbeat and your lungs. The more you pay attention, the better they work. So using sensorial feedback to breathe. So when I say take a deep breath, and then of course when you exhale, you keep practicing lower abs, middle abs, upper abs, shoulder blades down and back. When I say take a deep breath, what's happening sensorially inside the body? You've got organs in there. And the lungs, when they move, they have to go somewhere. So your mind is in there and can feel your lungs and can feel your internal organs and can feel the blood flow. So when I say strong, not stressed, what I mean is don't clench the abs so hard that there's no sensorial feedback. I mean, don't clench the jaw or the face, especially the face and around the eyes. Our eyes are by far our most powerful sense. So that's one of the reasons I ask you to close your eyes when we begin, so that you can reconcentrate your mind on what we're doing. The function of the lungs, the function of the abdominals will create the form of the body. 2 more times. I really want you to work on the breath, creating a strong but not stressed body. So your breath becomes your refuge. Good, then open your eyes. Let's recross the legs. So you probably have your favorite leg always in front or always on top, whatever you're doing. Inhale and stretch the arms up overhead. As you exhale, pull the belly in, pull the elbows down and back. So my arms and my elbows are actually behind the plane of my body. Then squeeze the elbows down and back like I'm trying to create a V with my elbows meeting at my low back. Inhale the arms overhead. Exhale, make that V. Pull the elbows kind of together back and behind you. Inhale, up, grow long. Exhale, scoop the lower belly, scoop the middle belly, scoop the upper belly, and then the trapezius and rhomboid. Inhale, exhale. Remember the head is slightly back. We're really trying to wake up the shoulder blades. We're going to do about, 10 or more of these because I want you to keep layering in that you're growing tall. You're breathing. You're filling in those deep abdominal chambers and chest chambers with breath and sensorially, feeling the function. Exhale, lower belly, middle belly, upper belly. Remember, shoulder blades down and back. We're just kind of doing that same thing. Like we're pumping energy like a fountain, like a well, forcing energy. Forcing the breath into deeper and deeper like recesses of the body. I want you to celebrate and compliment yourself. You're doing great. Lower belly, middle belly, upper belly. Don't stress out the shoulders. Don't stress out the upper back. But do create resiliency and strength around the middle of the low back and the waist. So right at the rim of the pelvis, get more and more control. 3 more times, lower belly, middle belly, upper belly, like there's a scooping, lifting, rising action there. Exhale, spreading the trapezius on the upper back out when the elbows go down. Now hold those elbows down and hold. I'm going to face front so you can see me. We're going to twist the arm bones forward and back. So keeping the contraction of the upper back. Inhale, exhale. All right, we're working these arms today. But we're making sure that we're keeping the Pilates breathing. Inhale through the nose. Then you can exhale through your mouth. I don't want you to make a big deal about which one you're doing. What we want to tone is the vagus nerve. Tone, that word tone, means that the body part, the tissue and body parts and the mitochondria and all those little pieces and molecules of our bodily systems work together very well. That we're not like misfiring. So we're toning the vagus nerve. What that really means is that the vagus nerve, which is the nerve that goes from about the brain stem, doesn't have a lot to do with the brain itself, believe it or not, into the internal organs. Namely, one of the internal organs that really matters to the vagus nerve is the adrenal glands. Hold the arms back, and now little pulses. Squeeze the elbows kind of together like a letter Y that's getting tighter and tighter. Exhale, exhale. So begin kind of pumping the belly. When you exhale, squeeze the belly, squeeze the belly, squeeze the belly. So these are little puffs of air. Breathe with me. We're creating heat. You're feeling that heat around the chest and the upper back, but I mainly want you to create a stoking. We're really a chemical thing. Biology is something, yes, it absolutely is, but we run on chemistry. 3, 2, squeeze and hold, and then release the arms. Let's bring the arms, the elbows, and the forearms and the palms together. Pause here. If you can, let's take the thumbs and touch it to the forehead. Pause there and close your eyes. I want you to go back to the beginning. Inhale, lengthen the spine. Exhale, so we're slowing down the breath. Scoop the belly. But keep the front of the spine and the back of the spine long. Now there's a reason our thumbs are on our forehead here. What we're trying to do is reconnect the thinking cognitive mind, the one that's got thoughts like, gee, I wonder what she's doing. I wonder what that sound is behind me, those kinds of thoughts. We're trying to reconnect that and recreate the connections of, like, we'll call it the upper mind and the back of the mind. That has to do really with your body and the systems of the body. So putting our thumbs on the forehead awakens us. So it's almost like you're trying to like rub your eyes in the morning to get yourself to wake up. 3. Keep the elbows kind of pushing together. That should open up that trapezius. 2. One more breath. And 1. Release that out. So we're going to wake up the abs. Then we're going to come all the way down for another sort of breathing exercise. So bring the soles of the feet to the floor. Hold on to the back of the thighs. Exhale, scoop the belly. So just for a second, work on that lengthening of the spine. Because in Pilates, we do a lot of articulation. There's 33 vertebrae of the spine. That's a lot. Only about 20 to 25 actually move at all. Only about 15 move a lot. But we don't want to over move like the neck ones because they're not that important to the shape of the low back and the peripheral nervous system. Now, as you exhale, rock the pelvis back so you can feel like a string pulling your pubic bone up under your rib cage. Inhale, rock up. So it's the bucket of the pelvis. Exhale, rock back. Squeeze that lower belly. Zip in the abdominals. Inhale, up. Exhale, squeeze and hold this time. Hold this time. Hold this time. Now, imagine that your pelvis is facing in a direction. Now align your spine in that direction, which means your spine just tipped backward so that it's in one line. Now drop your chin down, push the back of your head slightly back. Release your arms and hold. We're going to do that same breathing exercise. We're going to inhale just the arms up. Exhale, arms down. I'm going to leave the arms spun open. I don't want to compress anything in my shoulders. Inhale up. Exhale down. We are going to come down to the back in a moment. So if you want to come down to the back and I'll meet you there, I want you to celebrate wherever you are today. Maybe you're having a low back thing going on today and it's not a good day to add stress to the low back. 3 more. Keep the arm bones like they're screwed in at a socket here. So don't let the shoulders rise up and back and down. The shoulders are staying in one place. Remember, exhale, lower belly, middle belly, upper belly. Then with the arms stretched forward, rock the pelvis back again, hollowing out deeply, hollowing out the lower abdominal bowl, and then slowly roll down for a count of 4, 3, 2, and then all the way down. Now I want you to put one hand on your belly. And then if you need to roll over so that you can slide one hand under your low back. Now I'm sliding my hand palm down. That's the way my arm goes. So one hand on the belly, one hand's at your low back. If that hurts your shoulder, we'll try the other hand. If that hurts your shoulder, then don't do it. Now you're not purposely making a space with your low back right now. You're doing whatever's natural. We're going to call this neutral. All I want you to do is close your eyes and do that breathing exercise again. All we're doing is that Pilates breath. I had to stop for a second. My boss was barking at me. All right, now what I want you to feel around for is what movement occurs around the middle of the body. When you inhale, what movement is there? And then what movement is there when you exhale? Now I want you to purposely begin to move the skin, that's really the muscle of the low back. So without moving your spine, de-articulate, that is, separate those two things. There's your spine, and then there's the muscles that are superficial, they're towards the surface of the body. So that the muscles contract and release independent of moving the spine. Two more times. Now try this. Of course you're going to keep breathing. Open your eyes so you can see what you're doing. Of course you're going to keep breathing, but try lifting one foot up off the floor a few inches. What happened in your low back? What has changed? Something, right? Put the foot back down. Try the other one. Lift the other foot off the floor a few inches. What has changed in your back? Well, it depends on what your hand can feel, but you should be able to feel that there's something. Put that leg down. Now levitate the other knee so it's stacked up over that hip and hold. I bet a lot just happened in your low back. Put that down. Try again, other leg. Bring the knee all the way up over the hip and levitate and hold. I don't know, not as much or more. Put it down. So do that again in your own time, but this time don't move your back. So as you're lifting one knee then the other and you're feeling around, remember that sensorial input, even your internal organs have that. What you're trying to accomplish here is being able to move your legs really without moving your spine. That's strong, not stressed. Being able to weather the push and the pull and all of the movements, all the functionally fitness movements that we do. Now try both. So see if you can, I don't know. Both knees up, and then kind of just put them down. And then both knees up. Squeeze the abs, put the legs down. So I want you to keep trying that. You don't have to go up, down, up, down. Go slow, kind of maybe one knee then the other or both. You're just playing around with different movement patterns. But now what I want you to do is prioritize your breath. Remember I said today's Pilates breathing to be strong, not stressed. I'm going to switch hands because the hand that I'm laying on is getting a little tingly because it's been, compressed there for a while. Pilates breath. Two more breaths. You're just feeling around. This is just an awareness exercise. You're opening up. We'll call it the awareness, that inner awareness. By far, our vision is our strongest sense. So we'll take that hand out. By now, I've made it into a little pancake anyway. Stretch out long. So let's reach the heels. So flex the toes back. Lift the arms. If they go overhead, overhead. Maybe they have to go out to the side. But I want you now to breathe the body longer. The same exercise we've been doing, where you inhale and everything, but not just the spine now. Include the legs, include the back of the heels, everything gets longer. When you exhale, lift inward and brace upward. Strong, not stressed. Concentrate on deeply saturating the pelvic bowl, the abdominal bowl, and the lungs, or the chest cavity. Each time you inhale, muscle fibers lengthen. Another thing that we know about the way the nervous system works is that the muscles can only contract for so long. And because of chemistry, basic chemistry, with sodiums and potassiums and calciums and all those other electrolytes, they have to be restored and refreshed. Bring the arms back down. Now we're going to bend the knees and put the feet on the floor. I'm going to grab this Pilates ball. But you don't need that. If you want to, put the ball underneath one foot. If you don't have the ball, for now, don't pick up your foot. Just leave it on the floor. But just know which foot you're going to work with. Just kind of assign a foot with your mind. That's it. All right, whether your foot is on the ball or your foot is on the floor, just go back to Pilates breathing, which is inhale, lengthen the back and the front of the spine equally. Remember when you had the hand there, remember that lesson that we're going to try to not move the spine. Now, if your foot, whether it's on the ball or not, just slide your foot out 3 or 4 inches and then pull it back. Now, if you're on the ball, actually push your foot into the ball, push out, kind of like you're rolling it onto your heel, and then pull in like you're rolling it towards your toes. All right, now, as you're doing this, and especially if you have the ball, because I know your shoulders just got stressed. My shoulders are thinking, oh, I better concentrate on this. I'm going to contract. So unstress your shoulders. Rebreathe the belly, the ribs, the lungs. Remember, saturating full. Our goal when we do these leg movements in Pilates is to keep the frame under control. So those abdominal muscles, they don't just stabilize and move the spine or protect the organs. Those are kind of the three things I always say. The abdominal muscles also respond to the adrenal glands. Everyone knows what the adrenal glands do. They like cause us to get all stressed out. In a good way, I guess, if you need stress to get something done. 2 more times. Unstress the shoulders. I see you letting them creep up. And, oh, my neck hurts, Candace. That's why. All right, let's switch to the other foot. Never feel the ball. That's just like a mental thing. Hold there. Don't do anything. Return to inhaling the spine long on the front and on the back, almost like you're scraping up the spine on both sides. When you exhale, reconnect all around the waist and unstress the shoulders. 2 more times, just sort of feeling around the internal state of the body. The muscles that move the limbs and the skeleton, they're important. They absolutely are important because that's the things we always complain about. Our joints hurt, those joints. But the muscles that interact with the internal organs really do matter too. Here we go. Roll the ball or the foot out and in. I would guess inhale as you push out. Exhale as you push in. And what's happening? Are you collecting energy and strength and movement and abdominal muscle around? The more you concentrate on the muscle, the more you tell a muscle contract, like you sort of direct it from your brain, the more muscle fibers are going to respond. It's like an electrical impulse, kind of like how much electricity does something need. And the more electricity it has, the more powerful, the higher the frequency, the stronger that thing gets. Unstress the shoulders. I see them pulling up off the mat. Pull them back down. Unstress the neck and the jaw. 2 more times. Concentrate. I'm so used to concentrating by crunching up my face that I do that. Uncrunch up the face. Here we go. Take the ball. If you don't have a ball, a yoga block here will do. And put it between your thighs. If you don't have that, a pillow will do. If you don't have that, you could use the ring. Let's say you bought this shiny new ring and Candace, I want to try it. You could put the ring here. That'll work here too. All right, if it's the ball or the block, your feet and your knees are about 4 to 6 inches apart. Give the thing a squeeze. If you have the ring, of course, your legs are a little bit further apart. Give it a squeeze, but not as hard as you can. Again, we're just going back to the awareness exercise. Squeeze, I'm going to say legs together. There you go, knees together. Now rock the pelvis back. We already did that once. Inhale, rock the pelvis to neutral, release kind of the knees. Exhale, squeeze the knees, rock the pelvis back, squeeze the belly. Inhale, release all of that. Exhale, squeeze the ball, squeeze the belly, rock the pelvis back. That pushes the low back in the floor. Inhale, release it. Exhale, squeeze. Okay, so as you're doing those 3 target areas, I want you to purposely soften the shoulder blades and the tops of the shoulders. We already did an exercise that already exercised those shoulders and neck. I want you to unexercise that. I want you to relax that. So part of your body is doing a very conscious effort. Part of your body is doing a strengthening move. And part of your body, here's the important thing, is learning how to relax at the same time. So strong, not stressed, meaning you have control over how your body is reacting to the perceptions. So everything becomes how you're perceiving. All right, so squeeze and hold. Leave the spine neutral, so no rocking the pelvis under right now. In one movement, lift the hips up into a bridge pose. If you need to walk your feet closer together, why did that just happen? And so you can re-squeeze and get a better handle on that prop. Do that. Now I want you to work on from the base of the ribs down through the knees. Lengthen. Lengthen, like you're taking, an iron. An iron used to be this thing that people used to run over their clothing so that their clothing would look nice and smooth and flat. Our fabric is so great these days, we typically don't need to do that. So iron out from the ribs, down through the hips, down through the thighs, down and shoot that iron out through both knees. So light up those kneecaps so that they're moving away from your ribs. Now focus on 3 Pilates breaths. Inhale, so symmetrically. Exhale symmetrically. That means both sides of your lungs, both sides of your hips, both legs are working together. Blow out. Practice that scoop and then come down. Let's levitate the legs. If you want to keep the ring or the ball or the block there, you can do that. That's fine. Take the arms up and out like goalposts. But push the back of the arms into the floor. So your arms now become the root. Okay, you're squeezing the thing because then it would fall if you're not. We're going to try rocking the hips side to side. I'm only going 2 to 3 inches on each side. All right, now do that without, spinning off into nowhere land. Do that with control. So maybe imagine that your hips and your legs are like the steering wheel in the car, and you're one of those people that drive considerately. Consideration for the passengers and the groceries sitting on the seat in your car. Considerate of the people, in front and behind you, who are kind of gauging where they should be. So drive very smoothly. Don't kind of jerk the wheel side to side. Now, inhale. Remember those 3 chambers. Exhale. Are your shoulders popping up off the floor? Gain control of the ribs so that they're sort of pressing down, almost like there's a weight from your ribs up to your shoulders, holding you down. So the only movement is the lower body. And of course, the ribs and the lungs. Cervical nod, that means drop the chin down so the back of your neck stays long. You can even push your head a little bit into the floor. Don't do it too hard. Just enough that we're waking up those muscles. The headache muscles, the ones right at the base of the skull. 2 more times. You're doing great. You look fabulous. And 1. We're going to take the ball or the thing out and roll onto your side. All right, so some people put the ball under their head here. That feels good to them. Some people put the block under their head. Some people can put their hand under their head. Some people don't need to do anything. So you figure it out. Your shoulder might not work well here. So I put my hand under my head. Bring the knees into what we call a clamshell. You know what that means. Knees almost 90 degrees. Take this top hand. This is important. Lean a little forward and push this hand into the floor. Now before you go anywhere, go back to that Pilates breathing. Inhale, lengthen the front and the back of the spine is straight. Exhale, lower belly scoops, middle belly, upper belly. So I have this curve here. I have a big hip, and then I have a waist here. So that curve on the underside should be maintained. So I'm not I'm asleep and I'm just letting, like I'm on a sleep mattress commercial. I'm not looking like that. I'm keeping my spine straight. And the floor is not conforming to my body, right? My floor is the floor. I'm going to take this top leg, levitate it. And all we're going to do is try bringing the knee in towards the chest and then straighten the leg back and behind the body. So if you got a wall there, kick it. Pull the knee in, float the leg back. Inhale forward, exhale back. Remember, this hand's pushing down. You've got this. You're looking fabulous today. You have been through a lot. You're keeping the neck and the spine in proper alignment. But most importantly, you're rewarding your body with the awareness that it deserves to breathe. It deserves to go through all of these movements that give it more ability to feel, more ability to stay strong, to stay under control, and you're correcting. So I want you to autocorrect. Where did I get that word? I want you to self-correct that your spine and your hips aren't moving. So if they are, self-correct that. Now take this leg forward, straighten the leg so it's sort of hovering in front of you there. I'm going to flex the foot back so you can see the sole of my foot. Then we're going to lift and drop this leg. Oh boy. All right, so this leg that you just grew seems really heavy, right? And the tensor fasciae latae and the glute and even a little bit of the low back muscles are working hard. So that's all I'm trying to do here. I'm not really trying to work your outer thigh. That's just a bonus. What I am trying to do is keep your mind focused on the length of your spine and holding this top hip in place. 3 breaths. 2. And then drop that knee down. Straighten that bottom leg and then twist open. So I'm gonna bring my hands behind the skull and turn to look to the ceiling. I'm just stretching here. So close your eyes once you get to your stretch. Let's do about 10 slow ujjayi. That's a yoga term for victorious breath. Exhale, almost whisper into your throat. This has everything to do with that vagus nerve. I said the goal is for the vagus nerve to be tone. It's good that when you get upset, when you get stressed, when there's something that requires immediate reaction, it's good that that vagus nerve sends an impulse and gets you all riled up. But it's also good that that vagus nerve will stand down when it's time to rest and digest. 4 more breaths. What twisting does, as we're twisting our spine here, is it allows the chemicals, the byproducts of everything we've been metabolizing to be cleared out and give us space to breathe. 1 more breath. Turn back to that same side, but this time try to catch your top foot. Pull the heel to the glute and drop the knee down and back. If you can, you can. Maybe some people can catch their pant leg, or some people are like a shoe. You can't. Try rolling so that your foot is tucked underneath you. Try that way. Give that a breath. Come back to your side, hug your knees into your chest. Then push off the floor and rock and roll over to the other side. Come down to the side. Lengthen the spine. Figure out what's going to hold your head up. Bring the legs into what we call clamshell. Top hand presses down. Take some breaths to lengthen the front of the spine, the back of the spine. Remember, if you have that little curve in the side of the waist, keep the curve. Pull the shoulders down, broaden through the chest. Connect to the ground. Then lift this top leg, pause there. So keeping the frame of the body. If my knee gets closer to my chest, I don't crunch, or I don't curl the hips. So here we go. Inhale the knee towards the chest. Exhale, straighten the leg out, and then kick the leg back. Kick the wall behind you. Inhale forward. Exhale, Pilates scoop, pull in. Keep lengthening, not just the front and back of the spine, but the sides. That's that part where I'm saying don't collapse. The lumbar spine and the neck, the cervical spine, they are very mobile. So they will typically move around really easily. We don't have to work that hard. So do the opposite. Keep them both. Give them a support system. We're balancing asymmetries. So even though one leg is doing all the work, it seems like right now, we're using both hips and ab side muscles to stay still. 2, remember the Pilates scoop? Yay for you. On this next time, take the leg forward, hold, extend the leg out and hold. Drop the leg down and up. All right, so on this side, what I'm noticing is my bottom leg is working. I didn't notice that so much on the other side. So whether, what would probably happen is that leg, the one that's now on the floor, has gotten a little fatigued. And like I said, once the chemistry, potassiums and sodiums and calciums and all those innervating hormones get in there, they don't really have anywhere to go for a while, and they create acids and lactic acids, and it takes time to recover. So that's where we get tired. Carbon dioxide gets stuck in the muscle tissue. 3, 2, and 1. Just let that leg down. Hands behind the head. Turn. Just kind of twist open. I didn't say this last time, I should have. The hands behind the head are helping pull the head up and away from the shoulders. So like trying to make the neck long. If your thumbs are there and they're willing, give your little back of your head a little massage, a little cranial massage. There are really important nerves right there in the back of the neck, back of the skull, that relax us. Remember I said it's good that you can get intense and stressed and react. But the other system, the parasympathetic system, resides mostly right there, right where your fingers are. So that's one of the reasons it feels really good to take a stretch there. A nice massage goes a long way in rebalancing your nervous system so that you can be strong and not stressed. You got this. 2. Roll back onto your side. See if you can catch this top leg, catch the foot, Pull the heel to the glute and draw the knee back. So let's say you're okay with grabbing the foot and the ankle. Your goal is to get your knee back kind of as far as possible. Really enjoy that there's a somewhere for the breath to go. So if we just exercise, stress the body, we actually won't get the gains. Gains meaning, the body's getting better in tone and stronger and fitter. We're not getting those gains because we don't have any space to grow. 2 slow breaths here. I really want to give you time to breathe all the way into the deep pockets, the deep compartments of the body. When you're done with that, roll onto the belly. We worked the upper back, we worked the shoulders before. Slide the hands next to the ribs, point the toes, squeeze the leg bones together, push the heel bones together. Levitate the head to chest, levitate the legs. So the same deep, hollowed out bowl that we did when we were in sort of that boat pose before, if you remember that. Doesn't matter. I want you to congratulate yourself for coming this far. We're almost done. 3. Control the abdomen. Those muscles, both deep and superficial. The deep ones are very connected to the diaphragm muscle and the adrenal glands. 2, spread the collarbones, spread the tops of the shoulders out. 1, release the legs down, push back into child's pose. I'm going to say take your knees out wide, bring your toes together and push your hips back and soak down. Really feel those inner thighs there. All right, that's really all we're going to do Pilates-wise. So I just want you to take this next minute before we transition into Shavasana to take apart all the bindings and all the wounds that have created, let's call them knots, in the body. When your body creates a physiological knot, the nerve stops going there. It's like you built a wall, a very important wall sometimes, but because the nerves stop going there, you lose mobility and you lose the ability to change your state of mind. So after about 4 more breaths, I want you to guide your mind gently with your breath, but guide your mind gently into a state of mind that's kind and empathetic. That's weird. How can you have empathy for yourself? More and more empathy. I'm going to use the word empathy on purpose. All right, begin now to roll onto your back. I want you to take the time to find a comfortable lying down on your back position. Steady and comfortable. Relaxed and spacious. Begin filling the body with breath and letting it go, letting the ripples now refresh the body breath by breath, like you're drinking and irrigating and absorbing all of that good feeling. One more of those. Then make your way back, rolling over onto your side, pushing up and off the floor, coming back up to a seated pose. One more time, align, left, right, front, back. Drop the chin and pull the head back. Inhale, stretch up. Exhale, extend up and back. Inhale up and exhale. Sweep your hands all the way back together. Give yourself a hand. I appreciate you. Nice work, everyone. Thanks.